You're listening to the Blue 82 podcast, hosted by Craig and Nicholas. Please like and subscribe so we know that you like what we're doing. And now, let's talk football. Blue 82!
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue 82 podcast. I am your host, Craig, with my co-host, Nicholas. And this will be episode 20. Hit the big 2-0 finally. I just want to say real quick, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you all had a good time with y'all's families. Hopefully Santa got you everything you wanted on your Christmas list. Yeah, we had an exciting week of football. We got 2 weeks left in the regular season, and then it starts to get postseason time. So a lot of exciting things about to happen in the future for sure that I'm excited for. Just want to say we appreciate the support as always. Make sure y'all are sharing this podcast with your friends and family. Get the name out there a bit, you know? But, yeah, I mean, Nick, crazy week, dude. Crazy week.
Yep. Resulted in someone getting fired.
Oh, goodness. Where to even begin? Let's see. There's that. Yeah, so, I mean, we're getting consistent views like we talked about a while back, Nick, on our videos. Floating around that, 20 view mark. So it's exciting. Like we've said a million times, and I'm sure y'all are probably tired of hearing it, but people actually watching the videos and interacting makes us actually want to get on here and do this. Again, like we've said, we would probably still do it regardless, but it just gives us that feeling of okay, people are actually watching it, they're enjoying it, you know what I mean? So, or at least we hope they're enjoying it. But we do appreciate y'all as always. This will be, episode 20. It's going to be week 16 recap, week 17 predictions.
Yes, sir.
So, what we can do is like Nick mentioned a second ago, somebody got fired already, you know? Not really expecting it. We talked about it before in the podcast about, I think we had that one segment where we predicted the coaches that'll be fired next, and then this guy was definitely up there on the list. Nathaniel Hackett got relieved of his duties by the Broncos.
Not only did he get fired, though, the guy that's taking over is the guy that he hired just for keeping his time on track, whatever.
Oh, the clock management and strategy guy? Oh,
yeah,
nah, bro.
That was the guy that
crazy.
he hired. I saw that, I was like, there's no way. Probably because at the same time, no one wanted to take the job, too, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, for sure, yeah. I mean, they're in shambles at the moment, and it's just not...
I just feel like anyone that takes over as interim head coach, I couldn't think of the word, just doesn't, expect to get a job afterwards, you know what I mean?
No, 100%.
Because, usually you're pretty much just the fucking blame.
Yeah. We've talked about this team plenty of times, Nick. They do suck. And I don't think, I want to put the blame on Russell because he deserves some blame as well. But like we've said multiple times when we talk about things of this nature, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
The season was horrendous.
Yeah, we saw the win,
all those
the fucking delays of games and timeouts used wrong. That was just horrendous at the beginning of the season. So they didn't have a good start. They were in the hole already, and it just I don't know. It's tough. I think Wilson might have a bounce back year. Hopefully, you would like to think, because no way dude just becomes washed 1 year like that instantly. I don't know. I mean, it's possible, but we'll see. That'll be something to look forward to in the off season. We'll talk about a bit. Doubt they do anything with him just because they signed him with such a big contract, and nobody's going to want him at this point after last year. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Me and Nick talked about before the episode. He he thinks Josh McDaniels of the Raiders is going to be next with getting fired potentially, which, again, can definitely see that because they're underperforming altogether. And typically, the head coach gets blamed for all that. But we'll see what happens.
This team with too much talent to just not
way
be
too
good.
much, yeah.
Like Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs, even Derek Carr, I guess, was not a bad quarterback, like top 20. And then you add Devontae Adams with Hunter Renfrow, like, there's just no fucking way.
Granted, they've been dealing with a lot of injuries. I don't think, like, Adams, Renfrow, and Waller have been on the game together, on the field together that much.
Waller's been hurt a lot.
Yeah, Renfrow was on IR at one point, so it's got a little bit to do with it. But even then, like, with the time, even with just Adams and Carr and Josh Jacobs, like, you should still be smoking dudes. And it's just, the thing about the Raiders, in my opinion, it just seems like they can only play one half of football at a time. It seems like whether they're playing the first half, scoring 17, 20 points in the first half, winning the game, and then they come out and don't do anything in the second half. Or they get smoked and then they come back and win late. And it's like, bring it together for a whole game. Then you might have a chance to be called one of these good teams in the league. But until that happens, man, good luck. I mean, right? Like, fuck. Alright, so we'll break down a few things later. I kind of want to talk about some playoff scenarios, some clinching things, maybe some stats at the end of the episode. But I guess we'll go ahead and dive into the news since we're already talking about the head coach. One thing real quick, Nick, have you been seeing this thing about Gronk potentially trying to come back? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I just threw my arms up in the air, like, who cares? The guy retires, unretires, like, at this point, retiring's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. Like, I heard...
Either don't retire, like, either retire or just fucking stay as a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Just come back and then make it official, because, like, I'm so over, like, if you're not retiring, like, if you officially retire, there should be like a rule that, like, you can't come back for like another 2 years.
Yeah, you would think.
Just to prevent this shit, because it's so stupid. Like, what's the point in saying, oh, I'm retired, and then you come back, like, oh, I'm not retired now, haha.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. In the last few years, we've had Tom Brady, Marshawn Lynch, and Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
Like, all pretty notable names at their position. Like, if you're retiring, stay fucking retired. Like, it's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, and apparently, I don't know if he contacted the Bucs or the Bucs contacted him, and he said that not really into it this year. But now they're saying that 2023 is not out the window. So could he potentially come back next year? I don't know. Is it going to be one of those things where if Brady goes to a different team, he comes back and joins Brady on that team, and they make one more last run and then both call it? I don't know. But I do agree with you.
Call it now.
I think so too. Brady's done. All right, so we got the Gronk thing. We got the Jalen Hurts thing. Still really don't know for sure what's going to happen with that. I'm sure they would have liked to clinch this week, and then he just not play until the playoffs. But from what it sounds like, the couple things I heard, he's probably going to try his best to push to play against the Saints this week. I guess just to clinch that spot and then move on. Let's see. We got... Bucs tackle Josh Wells suffered a torn left patellar tendon and is out for the year. That's a pretty big loss for them. Vikings D-tackle James Lynch, one of the team's impressive young defenders, will miss the remainder of the regular season with a shoulder injury. Plan is to pull back and rehab with the hopes he can return to the playoffs. They need all the defensive help they can get. Jesus. Eagles left tackle, or offensive tackle Lane Johnson suffered an abdominal injury that will knock him out the rest of the regular season. To be determined after that. Mac Jones is being evaluated. Oh, this is interesting. Mac Jones is being evaluated for the NFL for a possible fine for his low hit on Bengals cornerback Eli Apple, but not a suspension. This will be reviewed in the normal fine timetable. Did you see that play, Nick?
I did. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what. Mac Jones is fucking dog shit. I can't stand this guy. He's out there like a fucking alligator, fucking barrel rolling dudes' ankles, like pulling people's legs when they're fucking falling down. Even already in this game before, he had an unnecessary roughness where he pushed the dude after, like when they're in the pile up. This guy's just a fucking pussy. Like, I
He's
hate him so
dirty.
much. And
Yeah.
I wish that, like, it was like the old school NFL, like you just pop the guy and get him back, but like you
Yeah,
can't because it's a
can't do that.
quarterback. Like, it's the dumbest shit ever. It reminds me of playing hockey, like the goalie would like taunt you, and it's like, you're the fucking goalie, I can't touch you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I touch you, I'm in the box for 5 minutes. Like, it's not worth it. Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah,
I can't stand this guy. Like, he's only been in the league for 2 years, and like, there's already video compilations on the Twitter, like, of him being dirty and all his plays.
dude, and like it's not just like 1 or 2 plays. It's like 4, 5, 6, 7 plays of him doing something sketchy. Like,
and he's doing the same thing. Like, he's just grabbing people's ankles or kicking people in the. Remember that one? He slid down and his leg comes up and kicks it in the nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
why the fuck
like
you kicking your leg up
nuts,
like that? Yeah.
Of all the slides I've ever seen, I've never seen a dude, even in baseball, slide up and kick someone in the fucking nuts. Like,
and for those of y'all not like knowing what we're talking about, Mac Jones got picked off in this game against the Bengals, and the guy that was carrying the ball to return it was past Mac Jones. Mac Jones could clearly not catch up to him. He's 5 yards behind him.
It was like Mac Jones, I want to say another Patriots player, and then Mac Jones.
Yeah.
Or maybe another Bengals player. Or
yeah.
It was another player in between them.
Yeah, he was hella
even
behind
before
him.
Mac Jones could even make a play. And then it was Mac Jones, and then the Bengals Eli Apple corner running down the field, and he just dives at his legs for no reason. Like,
but the thing is he literally turns around to dive at his legs when the dude's practically already in the end zone. Like, something that just didn't need to be done.
And the thing that, like you said too, is like the guy's already like gone. Like, you're not gonna stop him.
Yeah.
You tackling Eli Apple does absolutely nothing for the play either. Like, it's the dumbest thing ever. And I see people saying like, "Oh, he was just trying to get a block and a back penalty."
How can he get
at someone's ankles? Like,
how can he get a block and a back penalty if he turned around to dive at somebody's ankle? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
What?
Like, you're trying to say that the Eli Apple's gonna touch him? Like, there's no point in touching him. Like,
those dudes are either just fans or fucking clueless.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's people literally like defending it. And I'm like, there's just no way you can defend the shit he does. Like, there's just no way.
There's no way.
Like, it's like defending the Dominican Sue. Like, he's dirty.
There's nothing else you could say about it.
No different than the former Bengals player, Vontaze
Burfict. Yeah, that guy was dirty upon dirty, dude. Jesus.
Like, you just can't defend that shit, man. There's just no need for it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I always hate those hits too, like when the guys go like chop blocks on offense or like even doing on defense, like when they dive at your legs like that. I don't like that shit. It just seems so stupid.
I especially don't like it when you do it on bigger guys because they're not agile enough to like get out of the way. You know what I mean? So most of the time they have to like just take it, and that's just asking for people to get hurt.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so another piece of breaking news, I guess. 6 hours ago it was breaking. Jets quarterback Mike White was cleared by the doctors today and will start on Sunday in Seattle. So Mike White for the Jets. Still not the answer, I don't think, but it looks like Zach Wilson is actually going to be inactive as well, so we won't see any Zach Wilson. Another piece of injury, cornerback for the Eagles, Avonte Maddox suffered a significant toe injury. Had an MRI this morning. He is out indefinitely. Philly does have C.J. Gardner-Johnson eligible to come off IR as a possibility to play in the slot. So, looks like they lost a guy, but might get a guy back. We talked about Nathaniel Hackett getting fired.
Tua is in concussion protocol.
Yeah, Tua in concussion protocol again, which like
sounds like the season might be done. Honestly, if he doesn't play.
Yeah.
Because we go to the Patriots now. I don't see us winning that game when you got to win every game pretty much to get in the playoffs. So.
It just sucks,
an awful
man.
end of the season, man.
There was
went from 8-3 to 8-7. Just we'll talk about it when we get to it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Fucking hell, depressing.
Just tough season for the Dolphins fans, to be honest. So with the Nathaniel Hackett firing, right now there are 3 head coaching gigs already open before the season is over. Broncos, Colts, Panthers. Okay. Remember that because I want to talk about that for a second.
But how is the Colts open though?
Jeff Saturday is just the interim head coach. They're not gonna hire him.
I don't. Dude,
there's no way.
I don't know. I don't know.
No,
that guy Jim Irsay is a weird owner, man.
Let's
and
get
he's
through,
buddy with him. I don't know if he's gonna like.
Let's get through news real quick, and then I want to break that down a bit.
Okay.
So it looks like quarterback play was bad. Okay, there's that. Let's see. Talked about Zach Wilson. Talked about the Eagles dudes. Oh, Josh McDaniels indicated edge rusher Chandler Jones and linebacker Denzel Perryman could be done for the year after they were both injured against the Steelers. Panthers coach said J.C. Horn will have wrist surgery. His status is to be determined at a later date, so I assume he's probably out. I don't know, though. They are kind of making a push for the playoffs, so maybe not. Let's see. Broncos pass rusher Randy Gregory and Rams guard Ode Abushi are suspended 1 game for punching each other yesterday. After the game was ended, by the way. Tough to see there. I mean, both of their seasons are done, so who really cares at that point? Let's see. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh on Lamar Jackson's status for Sunday night. We just have to see. So, could be another Tyler Huntley game. Patriots tight end Hunter Henry is day-to-day with a knee injury. Has a chance to play. We talked about Mike White. Zach Wilson inactive.
That's even more embarrassing as a second overall pick. You're not even on the team, anymore.
Yeah.
You're just essentially a practice squad. You're on the fucking reserve now.
Yep.
That's an ultimate demotion.
I just saw this, and this is interesting. I don't know if he signed or if I don't know what this means, but the Panthers will bring in cornerback Josh Norman, who played under Steve Wilkes in 2015 during Carolina's Super Bowl run, to see if he can contribute. I don't know if they're just bringing him in for a meeting or what. We'll see. Pro Bowl safety, what?
Wait, you said they brought him in for a visit maybe then?
I don't know. This guy tweeted it, and Adam Schefter retweeted it, and I don't know if this guy's predicting that the Panthers are going to bring in the guy. I don't know if they're actually bringing in Josh Norman for a meeting. I don't know if they've already signed him. Kind of like wouldn't say a cryptic tweet, but not enough info on that tweet to actually know what's going on with that. So we might hear something else. Pro Bowl safety Budda Baker suffered a fractured shoulder during the loss last night and is out the final 2 games. But didn't come out of the game when it happened. He had nothing
to play for.
Yeah. Talked about the Tua in concussion protocol. Yeah. I mean, that's all we got for now. Again, I don't know about the Josh Norman thing. We'll have to wait a bit to see about that.
All right.
Let's see. So... Yeah, I mean, before I want to
coach segment.
Yeah, I want to talk about this coach thing. So, what did I say it was? It was the Broncos,
Colts,
the Colts,
Broncos, and
Panthers.
Panthers, yes.
So, I guess we'll start with the Panthers, right? You think they keep Steve Wilkes as the guy, or you think they move on from him? He's kind of rallied the guys around.
Playoffs, I think they might keep him. Even if they don't, he might have a good shot. You know what I mean?
I think so.
I don't see him outright just being replaced.
Right.
That type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Whereas 100%. Broncos, they're gonna be 100% outside hire. I could see maybe Steve Wilkes as a 60-40% type of split.
Okay. I like that.
60% he stays, 40% they go outside. It depends who's available, right?
Right. 100%. And I don't even know who is available at this point. Of course, you have the dudes that got fired, but I doubt they get another chance this year. Normally, it takes a couple years before they.
I just know it all depends on Sean Payton. If he comes back and is serious about coaching, he is the big bass out in the pond.
And there's been talks the past couple weeks about how he's building this all-star staff and he's coming back and he wants to be back in the NFL to coach.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't know if the Saints still have rights to him. I don't know if we're going to have to see one of these trade things happen.
They have rights to him, so either they have to cut him
Or they trade for like a pick.
And then if you trade for them, it's gonna be like first round picks probably. So
you would think for a guy like that. I don't know. It'll be very interesting because we haven't seen a scenario like this played out in a while, right? Where like a good coach is coming back to coach.
The last one had to be like the last trade would have been like the Bucks, was it, with the Raiders for coaching? I feel like he's like the last big one. I feel like.
There's not many coaching like trades that go on that.
It's like very rare. Like I can only think of like the two, and that's because of the Dolphins and then the Raiders with Chucky.
Yeah, so
like Don Shula, the GOAT, and then Chucky.
And that was a while back. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I remember it would have been like what, the 70s, 60s.
Yeah, something like that.
60s, 50s.
There might have been one in between, but it just seems rare because most of the time coaches either get fired or their contract's up or whatever. Like
very rare does a coach retire like mid contract.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like even players on that hand too.
Yeah.
But so
the Panthers probably 60-40 like you said. I do agree with that. I think they give him a chance if he rallies.
I think it's just because of how they've been playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They definitely. It's not like they've been playing as bad as they were with what's his name as the Matt Rule as the head coach. So I give him a fair shot.
I will say, talking about like candidates for coaching jobs, I do know that we'll probably have DeMeco Ryans of 49ers DC be talked about as a potential candidate.
Leslie Frazier, the Bills DC.
Yeah, you'll probably
Kellen
have
Moore, the Cowboys OC.
You'll probably have the Eagles 2 coordinators be talked about. Stain, Shiken, and then Gannon, I think their names are.
Even the Eagles OC.
Eric Bieniemy, the guy gets talked about every year and never leaves. That's an interesting one as well.
I don't know. Do you know what the Eagles one is? He used to be the Chargers OC. I don't remember his name is. I'm gonna Google it.
Stain Steichen and then Jonathan Gannon are the 2 Eagles coordinators.
Yeah, that was the guy. Dennis Allen, probably even too. The Cowboys DC.
So I mean, there's even Dan Quinn.
Adam Gase.
I mean, Dan Quinn could be a guy that people come back to. I don't know. So there's gonna be a few candidates out there. If you were to...
Wait, did I not say Dan Quinn? What did I say?
You said...
Did I say Dan Campbell?
No, you said Dennis Allen. That's the...
Is it Dennis Allen?
That's the head coach for the Saints right now.
Sorry, my bad. I was thinking... Sorry, I got confused. I was trying to remember who it was.
No,
it was, what's his name? Dan
Quinn. He was the Falcons
head
coach, but he's the...
See, I got confused. I was thinking...
No. I thought that's what you meant.
Falcons. Yeah, I was like, what did I say? Because I was like, wait, you said the guy I was thinking of. Who did I say? And I was like thinking of Dan's. I was like, did I say Dan Campbell?
And then another coaching spot that I feel like might be available. I know we talked about the Raiders. I feel like the Texans could be available too because I don't think that they think Lovie Smith's the guy. I think he's kind of been in the same situation as David Coley, kind of a bridge head coach. So, moving back to the Colts, you genuinely think Jim Irsay could do some weird shit and keep Jeff Saturday as the head coach?
Alright, real quick, let's just break it down. Go up the schedule real quick.
Okay.
Let's just look at these teams real quick. Let's just go look and see who's staying and who's going probably for coaches.
Okay.
So 49ers, Seahawks, they're keeping them both for sure. Colts, we already talked about it. Vikings, we already talked about it. Ravens, probably not. Browns... I don't know. Probably not.
Dude, they need to fire Kevin Stefanski. I think he fucking sucks, but
I don't
think they will.
I think that one would be a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd put that as a question mark. Maybe he gets fired, maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
Falcons, probably not. Saints, I don't think so. It depends. If Sean Payton comes back, is he coming back for the Saints?
Yeah, I don't.
And is he going to take over?
Another question mark.
Steelers, no. Panthers, we already talked about that. Eagles, Bears, no. Chiefs, no. Texans, we think probably going to be an open spot. Cowboys, if they actually do good in the playoffs, I would think they'd probably keep him, Mike McCarthy. But there were talks that they were going to get rid of him for Sean Payton. So I'm not sure how that's going to happen. But I'd put that maybe as I'd say it's doubtful, not question, but doubtful.
Doubtful, yeah.
Jags, no. Dan Campbell, no.
Well,
no. Maybe Cardinals, actually.
Hold on.
Maybe the Cardinals.
You think they keep Dan Campbell? I mean, I guess this season,
so.
yeah, probably will.
I think so.
Cardinals,
I think
yes.
going to keep him as well. Cardinals,
yeah.
this is one that I would say is like most likely. Like you gotta, even if it's not like it happened, you definitely thought about it and
Oh, yeah.
went like and like went through with it.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
you went to his office and like had a talk with him about it.
No,
Broncos
for sure.
already did it.
Yeah.
Patriots, Raiders, we again said that. So with that said, we have because I think the Packers and Rams. So scroll up one game then.
Scroll up.
Yeah, scroll up. Because Monday night we're gonna keep both their quarterback or coaches. So we have how many spots here? We have 1 with the Colts, 2 with the Browns, potentially 3 with the Saints.
4 Panthers.
Yeah, 4, and then what is that? 5 with the Texans.
Yeah.
6 with the Cowboys. 7 with the Cardinals. 8 with the Broncos. 9 with the Raiders. I think that's.
You talked about the Commanders, maybe Ron Rivera.
I don't know, man. I'd say it's maybe potential, but
So a potential
depends.
for
Like
maybe.
if you make the playoffs, like
Yeah. No, 100%.
what is that? Maybe like 10.
I
What
would
is it now?
say
We're at
I would
9,
say the
8 or
potential
9?
for like 8 or 9 landing spots, but I would say out of those 8 or 9 spots, we might only get like
It
5.
probably gets down to like
5
maybe
or
5,
6.
maybe 6.
Yeah.
But excuse me. So going back with the Colts, I don't know. He could stay, he could go. I'm not sure. To me, it seems like, excuse me, like they're buddy, like Jeff Saturday and Jim
Yeah.
Irsay. So it's like, is he giving them the keys to the franchise, or is it like, here's a 1-year deal and you got that off your bucket list, I'm helping you out and see you later type thing? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
I don't know if coaching was necessarily the biggest problem when it came to the Colts. It's been quarterback play all year, and then offensive line being fucking horrendous. Like, I know that coaching falls under that category sometimes, but like, maybe they do get a quarterback and then ride with Jeff Saturday. I could see it happening. I think with as much shit that happened around the Colts and all that drama with him potentially being like not deserving of the job or whatever, like, I don't know. That's a tough one for me because you'd like to say there's no way in hell he keeps him as a coach, but you would have thought there's no way in hell he hires him as an interim coach. So they just might be doing some
right
weird
now,
shit.
they have the 5th overall pick projected.
Yeah. Which could get them
You could definitely get a quarterback or trade maybe
Yeah.
up to get the quarterback you want. Because as of right now, the Seahawks have the 3rd pick, which again would put them in a place to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
Because right now it goes 1 Houston, 2 Chicago, and I don't see Chicago replacing Justin
No,
Fields.
there's no way. Not
So,
after the year you had.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It depends. Like,
All right,
I'd
so
probably put this 40-60 split. Like 40% he stays, 60% he gets replaced.
Okay.
Probably. Like flip it around because I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like he's a former player for the team. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
no, 100%.
And that to me is like a whole different ball game. It's just like you have a
connection with the
history
team.
there.
Yeah. Okay,
It's
so
like you have a history with the team and with the legit, like with
Yeah.
the owner.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, it's business type of thing. Like you actually have a personal relationship with them.
So those are 2 spots, the Panthers and the Colts, that have like interim head coaches that could potentially be hired as the head coach. So moving on to the Broncos that has, because I think this late in the season you're not going to see what you want out of the interim head coach for the Broncos. So they're
Nah,
more,
he's literally just
yeah,
doing
just
it for the
doing
next,
it
what,
for the next
1
2
week,
weeks.
2 weeks,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
So that's going to be a genuinely like fully open anybody's job in my opinion. So if you were to make a prediction to say who do you think ends up with
I'll
the
tell
Broncos?
you right now who's going do they have state taxes in Colorado?
I know a lot of people move to Colorado, so I feel like it's not a very high state tax.
But they do have it.
I think. Hold on.
Cause so the only states that don't have income tax are Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Washington, Wyoming. So they definitely do.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's high as
their
hell,
income tax rate is 4.40%.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
Compared to like,
I'm in Texas. We have none, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, but anyway, like with that in mind, it's like a lot of people care about income tax, right? Because that takes extra money out of players' pockets.
100%.
Then add that on top of the fact you were inheriting a fucking quarterback that played his worst season ever.
Yep.
And he's on the hook for $200 million, so you cannot replace him.
No.
Then, on top of that, add in the fact that you have no future as of right now because you have no picks because you traded to get said quarterback to give him contract. That is 4 things I have right now. And then on top of that, you're on with a GM that didn't get fired, so it's like, is he staying? Is he going? Because he's part of bringing that player in.
Yeah.
Can I trust this guy to not fuck me over now? Like, that's 5 things on my hand right now that I'm like, if I'm a head coach, I'm actively like thinking like, is it really worth going to just move up to be a head coach and then ruining my whole like my whole fucking
your name,
like my reputation for it.
Okay, but hear me out though. Like, yes, all those points are valid 100%, right? But let's say Russell, I mean, this is a little bit hypothetical in a sense with the Russell Wilson thing.
This guy's going to tell me Russell Wilson just
handles
the magic.
No. What I'm getting at is you have a good defense, top 10 arguably, probably maybe top 8, right? And I don't think like a lot of pieces are leaving from that. You have weapons on the offense in Javonte Williams, the wide receivers, like you have playmakers there.
Yep.
So it's like the teams, in my opinion, the team's already kind of set, right? I mean, we talked about it before. They have all this talent. The team's already set. All you would need to do is coach up Russell Wilson a little bit, help him get his confidence back. Maybe you can coach him up to be a mediocre quarterback that you need. Granted, you're paying him $200-something million. You don't want a mediocre quarterback. You want a superstar quarterback. I get that. But do we think that it's... Looking at it from this season, it's actually a worse spot to be in? Or are we just, like, overdoing it and it's actually not that bad of a spot to be in, right? I don't know.
I think it's a bit of both.
No, I think...
spot and
I think there's bad spots in the situation.
I think worse.
But...
Like, the Panthers are a complete rebuild. Texans would be a complete rebuild. Colts is like a mini rebuild.
This would be one of the better landing spots, I feel like. But it's still a shitty situation.
It's a good, it's a good spot for now. Maybe if you can fix the quarterback, it literally depends. You're literally, riding or dying with Russell Wilson,
and
just
hoping
like
he shows up next year. Yeah,
that's literally what it is.
Yeah. And do you want to bet on that after this season?
That's what I'm saying. Like that to me doesn't give you any leadway.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to the Panthers, usually you have 1 to 3 years, usually 1 to 2, if you're going to draft a rookie quarterback, right? Or if you go, say, to the Texans, you usually get that 1 to 2 leadway.
I would say
usually 3 years.
I would say if in the Texans situation, they've went with 2 bridge like head coaches. I feel like if they hire the next head coach they hire, if it's actually like a strong candidate like a Brian Daboll would have been, right? I feel like they give the guy 4, 5, 6 years to actually rebuild this team and get them there, like. They know they're not going to be there in the next 2 seasons, so at least give them a few extra seasons for that. So I feel like the Texans, you would have a little bit longer rope and not instantly get fired.
Again, it all literally depends on like what these coaches value as well too, because like a lot of these guys just want any job, they'll take it, right?
Yeah.
They don't care, they just want a job, but it's like. If I'm a smart candidate about it, am I going to go to a team that's like the Texans and I have to literally rebuild it all? Or a team like the Broncos? Like, I would rather honestly go to a team like the Texans because it's like you have so much leadway, like
and
you
you
said,
can do everything your way.
You have the first overall pick, so it's like you have
the
potential to get your quarterback right off the bat that you can build with and you can make it work with.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Broncos, you're literally stuck on Russell Wilson, and that doesn't look like a good thing to bet on.
No,
after watching him play this season, you know what I mean? That's a hard thing to bet on.
And I think I'm definitely with you. Like, if I'm a head coaching candidate and I look at like these 5, 6 spots that we potentially named, I know it sounds crazy, but if I were like actually coaching, I would want to go to the Texans because I would want to be able to do things my way. Like you said, you get a first round pick first overall. You get the potential you get your quarterback for the first year that you're there. Y'all are there for a while. As long as you can guarantee that the Texans are going to give you a little leeway, like you said, and let you build
I'm going
this
in there and I'm
thing
telling the owner, like, you have to give me
5, 6,
like
7
6
years. Yeah,
like first 3 years, do not expect me to have a winning season because I'm rebuilding it.
Yeah, and it's
Year
not a
4,
good roster.
expect me to probably get it to like 8-8, maybe 9-8. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to give them like the ultimate PowerPoint. But
you would think that's like the best situation. Like, you could maybe make the argument the Panthers are kind of in the same situation because all they need is a quarterback and a couple more pieces. But like, if you're trying to build like a legacy and become one of those good coaches, you would think you would want to start from the ground up, in my opinion.
I'm just saying, like, to me, the Texans is a perfect team to start out because it's like you should have the most leeway out of all the teams, and then at the same time, you should have the time to build it. Like, you should just be able to take it how you want and how to mold, like how you want to mold it, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the most pressureless probably one there because if you go to the Broncos, all eyes are literally already on Russell Wilson. There's so much pressure on him. There's so much going to be pressure on you to try and fix him. And if you don't, then you're going to be like, wow, this guy's a joke. He's a failure. He sucks. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like, they're just going to literally, like, rip you to fucking pieces because you couldn't fix this guy.
Imagine Sean Payton going to the Texans. I would be hype as a Texans fan. Like, I would genuinely be back because we would have Sean Payton. We would have a quarterback first overall, most likely. Like, 99% chance they don't take a quarterback. Still have another top 10, 15 pick after that because of the Browns. So it's like you got draft capital coming. John Mechie should be back if he is done dealing with his the cancer that he unfortunately had to deal with. Like I said, you'd have a quarterback and then a good-minded head coach
As of
like
right
Sean
now,
Payton.
the Texans have pick 1 and pick 11.
Yeah, see, that's solid.
So like almost 2 top 10 picks.
Yeah,
and one of them's a top 3 pick.
And I almost could be wrong. Because I don't know how the timetables lined up. I don't know which picks we've used and haven't used from the Browns. But don't we have 2 first-rounders next year as well, I believe?
I'm not too...
Because I think they got 3 firsts for Watson. So they used one last year. They're going to use one this year, and then they'll use one next year. So, yeah, I think they have 2 first-round picks next year as well. So that's massive.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got the draft capital. I'm just saying, like, as a Texans fan, like, talking this out, if we were to get somebody like Sean Payton, I could actually maybe get on board as a Texans fan again because the ownership is finally making some right moves. Like, up until now, they haven't made any good moves, in my opinion. Like, they've drafted some good pieces and hit on the draft, don't get me wrong. But it just, the whole not having a quarterback thing.
Like a stud.
Yeah, I mean, the safety looks like a stud. Stingley's not too bad. Damian Pierce is a fucking demon. Like, you got some pieces. So, I don't know. Just a little thought as a Texans fan. Like, Sean Payton in Houston would be sick.
Again, it depends on what he wants. Does he want to sit around for an extra few years rebuilding a team, or does he want to just, like, go to the team like the Broncos and potentially...
No, 100%. Yeah, we don't...
You know what I mean?
And is he even going to come back to the NFL, or is this just all a fucking...
I mean, that too.
Drama that's popping off and there's...
Bullshit.
Yeah, is it just fucking fake news? Like, I don't know. But from what I've heard, he's building this all-star cast and wants to come back to the NFL, so I don't know. But like you said, does he want to win now? Best chance is probably the Broncos. Granted,
for the teams that are
for the teams that are available, yeah, for sure. So something we'll talk about more and more in the off season as it gets closer at the end of the year, whatever. You know what I mean? Just wanted to touch on it
after the season's over because that's when you know who's actually fired, who's staying, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's usually 2 weeks after the season officially wraps up.
Yeah,
that's when they'll have their last meetings with the owners and coaches, whatever. And
shit, a lot of times we see them. The day after the season
sometimes
ends,
even the day after, like, you're fired. But sometimes they're like, oh, I gotta have a meeting. Then it's like, I think even, if I'm not mistaken, the Giants, the 1 year had, I think it was with Joe Judge, who's not fired. Then they had the meeting, then he was fired afterwards.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was a weird, like, sometimes there's just weird situations like that. But
we'll see.
Let's recap the week, what is this, week 14? Week 15 Monday night?
We're doing week 16. Yeah, we're doing week 15 Monday night.
Week 15.
And then we're moving to week 16. Yeah. So
it was the Packers at the Rams.
Rams at the Packers.
Yeah.
This
I
game
don't
was.
remember much of this game, honestly.
I don't either. I know this game was filled with a couple turnovers, kind of an ugly little game. Packers came out with a dub. They've now won up to this point, I think 2 or 3 in a row. So, I mean, they're fighting for their playoff hopes. We kind of expected the Packers to stomp on the Rams. Rams have been so many injured pieces, a lot of shit to deal with this year.
Just going for the stats here was 10-6 going to the third.
So it was a close game. It was a boring game. That's probably why we don't remember much.
That's what I'm saying. Both quarterbacks had a pick. Baker Mayfield was 111, 1 TD, 1 interception.
Yikes.
Aaron Rodgers was 229, 1 TD, 1 interception. Aaron Jones had 90 yards on the ground. Yeah, not much to remember about this game. I literally can't even
I
think
can't
of
picture
anything
what
to say
happened.
about this game.
The only thing I remember from
like-
this game is I think Jalen Ramsey literally took the ball out of a running back's hands. That's what I remember from this game, and that was it, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't remember nothing.
So,
Packers won it though.
Yeah. Sorry, we're bad analysts, quote unquote. Now, me and Nick just have what is it, what do they call it, fish brain, or I don't know what you call it, goldfish, brain of a goldfish, where when certain things happen, a week later, me and Nick just have completely lost the care for it most of the time. That's even starting up for this podcast, me and Nick were like, fuck, or Nick was like, I don't remember what happened. I was like, yeah, it's because it was 2 fucking days ago. Of course we don't remember what happened. But, no, I mean,
Yeah.
we remember the gist. We get there, but, no, it's... So, week 16, we recap. We're starting off Thursday night. We had the Jags at the Jets. I mean...
I remember this game. Fucking Zach Wilson shit his pants on national television. I've never seen that before.
Look.
Literally shit in his diaper.
Yeah. I agree.
Just an all-around awful game for the Jets. Zach Wilson is not your guy. Please stop playing him. You put in a CFL practice squad level quarterback,
That looked better than
and
him.
he looked light years fucking better.
Granted, all he was doing was running the ball half the time, but it still looked better.
Even when he was throwing, he actually looked better.
He had some better throws.
The thing
for sure.
I don't understand with Zach Wilson is what the fuck does he do? What does he do? He does absolutely nothing. He doesn't run. He's supposed to quote unquote have a big arm like Mahomes, but when he was throwing it deep, he's floating the ball.
Yeah.
Where's the zip on it? I don't see nothing.
Was it windy in this game? Maybe that had some effect to it.
I don't remember. I don't think it was super windy.
I don't
like
think it was
Chicago,
either. But I do remember what
'cause
play you're talking about.
it
He
was
was
maybe a
rolling
little
out.
bit.
He was rolling out to the right, and he threw across his body across the middle of the field.
It was
and
a
the
couple
ball just
of that,
floated.
a couple deep throws. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a couple deep throws that he threw that just floated. And it's where's the arm strength?
And there might have been some wind, and we could be wrong, and it was the wind that was fucking it all up. But if there wasn't, that shit was just ugly. Because a lot of throws were floated, like you said.
And that's what I'm saying. His decision making's fucking god awful.
Yeah.
So it's you don't do that well. You don't read the field well. You don't have crazy arm strength. You don't have crazy athleticism where you're running the ball like Fields or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson type of thing. That's what I'm saying. You have nothing for me to nothing to show me. Nothing that I'm yeah, you're gonna be around here still. Why would they not want to keep, or why would they keep him after what is his 3rd year now?
I think here's the thing. Yeah, this is his 3rd year now. I think Zach Wilson is done in New York. He'll get traded somewhere in the offseason for a 3rd or 4th. Maybe you can squeak a 2nd out from somebody that wants to take another chance on him. I doubt it.
Craig, whoever gives the fucking Jets a 2nd deserves to be fired. There's no way.
No.
I wouldn't even give you a 7th. A 7th round fucking
Nick,
pick. Brock
hear
Purdy's
you.
playing better than him.
Nick,
I'd rather keep my 7th and get Brock
I'm just
Purdy.
talking about how GMs see it, and sometimes they get a little overzealous and look at a
Craig,
dude's
those GMs
pro
need to be
days
fucking
Look,
drug test.
Nick, I hear
they drug
you.
test the players after a fucking big day. I need you to be drug
Nick,
test after
I
this
hear you.
trade.
But there's also teams that gave up 3 firsts, 3 seconds, and 3 players for fucking Russell Wilson, and look at where that's at. So nothing is out
Russell
of the
Wilson won a
scenario at
Super
this
Bowl,
point.
okay? I will forgive the GM for getting fucked over on that one.
No, I hear you. I mean, there's also GMs over there that'll trade away fucking DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson and a bag of chips. Like,
There is
you know
no
what I'm
GMs,
saying?
okay? He's in college. Let it go. He can't hurt you anymore, Craig. He's at Alabama.
There is
He
so
was
much
the GM.
pain, Nick. Fuck! I hate Bill O'Brien. I hope he fucking falls down the stairs, man. I'm sorry, that's rude. We're gonna get fucking banned on YouTube for that. Nah,
I think
dude,
he's gonna
like,
get fired too from Alabama, so don't worry about it.
dude, the whole fucking Alabama fucking community is coming at his neck talking about how he wasted Bryce Young in Alabama. Like, yeah, I could have told you that he wasted fucking Deshaun Watson. Thank God Deshaun Watson had enough of his shit and fucking started doing shit on his own. Like, that guy, not to mean to get off topic here, but that guy single-handedly ruined the best years the Texans ever had.
I mean, he's no different than Adam Gase. He ruined the Dolphins after we went to the playoffs.
Fuck,
He
man.
completely tore down the roster. Went to the Jets. He tore down the Jets. Like, Adam
I'm just
Gase,
genuinely
Bill
so
O'Brien,
worried
like,
at what you saw in this fucking guy that hands the ball off to a running back on 3rd and fucking 9 to be able to hand over the fucking keys to the kingdom and fucking give him the GM duties. I'm sorry, but it just boils down to our ownership is fucking stupid. And I've said that from the get-go. Like, sorry, got on a rant there. Won't happen again. Just Bill O'Brien grinds my fucking gears, man. Yeah, I mean, I do hear you, Nick. Only reason I say a second is because he's a former first-round pick, and I know how those GMs are sometimes.
Craig,
But
there's
I
nothing to get out of
genuinely
there.
think
you
that
could you could squeeze Zach Wilson like he's a fucking lemon and gonna give you juice,
Yeah.
but he didn't give me nothing more.
I think they'll probably trade him for a 3rd or 4th, or they'll just keep him as a fucking backup and hope to God he maybe develops, or they keep him till the backup till his rookie year's done and he becomes a backup in the NFL for the rest of his life. I don't know, but
You know what I think?
what?
I
Think he
think
starts banging
him
moms?
and Jalen. No, I think him and Jalen Rager are gonna go to the XFL and be that duo.
Oh my God, not fucking Jalen Rager. That
You're gonna
dude.
see a fucking 4K yard season, 40 TDs and 1,000 yards for Rager.
Nick, that guy got
That's what
picked
you're
before
gonna see.
Justin fucking Jefferson, and fucking Wilson got picked before Justin Fields and Trey Lance and all these other dudes. And
Yep.
you know what's
He
funny
fucking
is
sucks.
they both suck because Jalen Rager fucking almost costed the game for the Vikings against the Colts that day because he was supposed to run a fucking route and dude just stops in the middle of the field and Kirk Cousins throws a pick. Fucking Kevin O'Connell was screaming at his ass on the sidelines. Like, somebody fucking posted that video and was like, see, even Kevin O'Connell knows Rager sucks. And he's on his team. Like, that'll go down forever. Like, I know the Eagles have hit on some draft picks and made some good trades. But them taking Jalen Rager over Justin Jefferson will forever go down as, like, one of the just biggest question marks in picks, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I never even heard of that fucking guy until people started fucking shitting on him for being bad. Like, I don't know. We're getting off topic again here.
But yeah, the Jets, their defense played not too bad, I don't think. Couple third downs that they let Lawrence run for, or first downs on 3rd downs. Shout out to Lawrence. He didn't have a great game, but I think he played really pretty good in this game. Did enough to win it. He ran it around a couple times, which is nice to see. Because even when I noticed this even in college, like, I forget what game I was watching him play. It was Clemson and maybe Ohio, I want to say.
Okay.
Pretty sure. And it was like one of the bigger like playoff games or like bowl games, whatever they're called.
Right.
Maybe the championship game, something like that. I just remember it was like he wasn't really like, I always saw him as like a pocket passer, right? Because that's what I always see in his highlights, like he's throwing it, not really running it.
He's not.
Like even in that championship type game, like he was running it a bit more. I'm like, wow, like he's actually.
He's
Maybe this is
mobile.
him like, like maybe this is him like showing the scouts like I can run the ball if you want me to sometimes. And like even in this game, you noticed it, like he ran for I think like 50 yards.
Yeah.
And like he was picking up those easy first downs and they're letting them like leaving them open basically to run.
Yeah.
It was nice to see.
I know there's a lot of hype around Trevor Lawrence right now, and it's well deserved because he's playing like, to be honest, out of his mind compared to where he was at last year, right? And I definitely think the Jags need to be excited because they're finally getting what they got in return for a first overall pick, right? you draft somebody like that, you want almost like instant gratification for it. And it was a little slow in the first year, and that's why I never really came at Trevor Lawrence's neck, because I knew that it was just, with Urban Meyer and all that, it was just such a shitty situation. Like, plus being rookie year, like, he's finally showing strides, and I genuinely, I've always thought he was a good quarterback. Like, I think he's going to be fine in this league for years to come. But we'll see. The Jags, man, they're first in AFC South, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Ryan
Tannehill's out. It might be fucking it for the Titans.
Not only that.
Moving on.
The Jags, real quick, the Jags play the Texans this week, Nick.
Yep.
I know the Texans play people weird, whatever. Texans have already beat them once, but I think the Jags probably win this game. And then the Titans play the Colts. That'll put the Jags at 8-8, and then the Titans will be fucking 7-9. So I almost want to say if the Jags win this week and the Titans lose, they win the division. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Anyways, moving on, we got what? Falcons at the Ravens. Falcons are probably done, playoffs wise.
Yep, I think so. I think it's between the Saints and the Bucks now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really remember much.
Don't forget the Panthers too. Panthers, Bucks.
Yeah, the Panthers.
And Saints.
I'm trying to remember, but I don't remember much from this game. I remember Drake London again fumbled the ball, I think it was.
Oh my god, dude! Like, yeah, not good.
Or got picked or something like that.
No, he fumbled the fucking ball. He was like running and it fucking popped out like an idiot. And I want to say that was like a game-changing play because they would have scored to taking the lead, I think.
I don't know. I can't remember much from this game. I didn't watch it. I know it was on Red Zone, but I didn't really see it too much.
They didn't show much on Red Zone. Saw a few plays. Desmond Ridder was making a couple nice throws. Again, like we said, we're not watching this game because I watch Red Zone 99% of the time. So I only show what they see me, and sometimes I go back and watch them, but haven't seen enough to like say anything about Ridder, so I'm not going to go out there and say anything.
This was his
second start
game, right?
Yeah, second game. I think Justin Tucker in this game missed 2 kicks, Nick.
I think one dude, what did they get blocked, I want to say?
Yeah. I think one got blocked and then one he missed or something like that. I don't know. Ravens are squeaking by. I think they're just trying to keep it together till Lamar comes back.
Yeah, they're just holding it down until Lamar gets back.
That's all it is. I mean, but it's massive. It's massive for these last 2-3 weeks. Like, they've been close, low-scoring games, but they've still pulled them out. Like, they're keeping it in the race. I think they clinched a playoff spot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did already.
They did? Okay, so I mean, yeah, they're chilling.
Either way, they clinched the division or they clinched the wild card.
Yeah.
I think they're now at 10 wins, I think.
Yeah, so with that being said, I don't know if they rush Lamar back because they have a playoff spot. They might just wait, which would be the smarter play. At this point, they would just be playing for seeding. But yeah, we'll see. Moving on, we got the Lions and the Panthers, man. I mean, this game pisses me off in so many different ways, right? I should have started Deontay Foreman, and I didn't. Because the Lions
back ran for over 100 yards.
Dude, they had like 360 yards total
Foreman
rushing.
Ran for 165 yards. Hubbard ran for 125.
God damn, dude.
Sam Darnold had 250 yards. You look at the Lions, Jared Goff, 355 yards, 3 TDs. Rushing, Jared Goff, 15 yards. And then behind him is DeAndre Swift with 12.
DeAndre Swift, oh my God, wow. So, I mean...
And Jamal Williams with 11.
Yeah, the Panthers were in total control of this game. The Lions tried to make a comeback at the end, but I think the Panthers got like a late touchdown, late field goal, just made it impossible at that point, and just not enough time. Typical thing, though. Everybody starts to hype up on the Lions. They get on the Lions train of, they're making the playoffs, and then they lose to the Panthers.
They completely just shit the bed.
Fumble, man. Like, it reminds you of the beginning of the year when they had the number 1 scoring offense and then they get shut out versus the Patriots and then score like 3 points against the Jets. Like, just inconsistency is going to kill them, I think, at the end of the day. I think they have a solid team. I think if they make the playoffs, they can maybe win a game. but they probably would get first
Just
rounded.
depends on who they play.
Yeah.
But I don't see them even making the playoffs right now.
Yeah, at this point, it's not like unlikely.
They're still up and down.
Yeah. They would have to win out the next 2 games, and then I think get like the Commanders and the Giants to not win any games or something like that to make it.
Yeah,
but we'll
hard.
see. Yeah.
Moving on to the Bears game and Bills game here. Josh Allen, another stinker.
Stinker.
He had 2 interceptions on this game. One of them I remember was like a floater to the end zone. It was in double coverage.
Yeah.
Basically, just got picked, easy money. The second one, he absolutely looked fucking lost in the sauce. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I did.
Where he just basically threw it right to the linebacker.
Yeah.
I think it was. Just
So
basically
bad.
said, "Here you go."
What's crazy too is you look at the score and you're like, oh, 35-13, the Bills killed the fucking Bears. But no, I mean, this game was 21-13, it seemed like for the longest time, or like 21-10. Like, the Bears were definitely in it, but the Bills got a couple of late insurance scores that kind of padded the score
Going
and
into
made it look worse.
halftime, the Bears were up 10-6.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was a close
And then
game.
they got outscored in the third and fourth, 15-14,
Yeah.
and they only put up 3.
I will say, back to the Josh Allen thing, like we've talked about it a bit here and there. I think the biggest downfall for the Bills will be Josh Allen. I know that's crazy to say, and it's also a couple things with no run game. Like, the run game got going this week,
Getting going a little bit.
yeah.
But
I just think Josh Allen to me is the biggest boomer bust quarterback out there. Like, you're gonna get these amazing plays, but you're also gonna get these absolute stinkers. Like, at least this year, that's what we've seen. Like, I know last year he was a little bit more consistent.
Right now, we went through it his last couple of games. He's been on some stinkers pretty much since the Vikings game, aside from the Dolphins one where he put up 300 yards.
Yeah.
Like, outside of that, he's been pretty much under 250. Like, I think it's like under 230 yards almost every game.
Just like mediocre quarterback play, to be honest.
Yeah, just not playing great, not playing bad.
Leading the league in interceptions.
Decent enough. Yeah, like he's just playing decent enough to get by almost.
So
and it's like, I don't know if he's gonna get it going last 2 weeks of the season here, but it's like playoffs are coming, my guy, and he's not looking.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's the wear and tear on the season taking its toll now or what, but.
And I mean, it could be that elbow injury still lingering around. You know what I mean? Like, there's many possibilities. But
I'm saying, like, he's got to be bruised. He's got to be sore. Like,
looking at it right now,
muscles got to be tender. But
looking at it right
I'm
now,
not looking at the Bills, and I'm not saying that like you're the guy to beat type of team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs, the Bengals could easily beat them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're definitely a beatable team right now.
Yeah.
It remains to be seen if they'll be that powerhouse that we expected at this moment. At the beginning of the year, it started to look like it.
Everyone crowned them in the offseason fucking Super Bowl champs. So let's see how they play these last 2 weeks. But I'm definitely looking at Josh Allen to step it up because he's been a little bit on a downward spiral. So
100%.
We'll see.
Next we got the Saints at the Browns. Kind of another dud game. 17-10.
Motherfucker, I watched this game. They had this shit on Red Zone for so long because it was like, it was basically a tie game moment or not.
Yeah.
They were all. I think they were at like what the Red Zone basically. They had 4 tries to try and basically score.
Get
and,
in
like,
the end zone.
It just did not happen.
Yeah.
This shit was on Red Zone stuck for so long because of that shit, and I'm like, man, like, either score or don't. Like, let's get it. Let's fucking get it.
Get
going.
it over with.
Like,
yeah. No, I feel you.
Jesus Christ.
They definitely had some chances to win, but just couldn't pull it out. I mean, it was just an ugly game. Like, I know the weather was kind of weird. You had snow on the ground. I think there was some snow falling. And, you know, typically in those games, it's always just a bad game played overall. You get some interceptions, you get some fumbles, things like that. But it looks like with that, the Browns' playoffs hopes are definitely shot. I actually want to say they're officially eliminated. We'll look at that later to see, because I think there's a few more teams added to the who's eliminated list on NFL, so we'll look at that at the end. Saints still alive for the division title at 6-9. Absolutely bonkers. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. That division, I can't get over, man. Next, we got the Seahawks at the Chiefs. Just an absolute dominating win by the Chiefs. Seahawks started out slow, remained slow. Geno, I don't think, had the best game. I don't know if he threw any picks or not, but the Chiefs just looked light years better than the Seahawks, which kind of what we expected coming into the season. The Seahawks definitely overperformed of what we thought. But I think at this point, like, you almost don't even want to make the playoffs because you just know what's going to happen, because it seems like the last few playoff teams you've played have just kind of steamrolled you. We'll see. Nick?
What?
You got anything on this game?
What, the Chiefs game?
Yeah.
Just didn't look like the Geno Smith we've been seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just didn't play as good as I thought he would. Pat Mahomes. He's Pat Mahomes. Didn't really do a whole lot, I feel like, though. Wasn't like his crazy performances that we've seen out of him. Or that we've kind of grown used to, but...
Yeah.
And they're finding ways to win. They're getting their run game going a little bit, too, with that Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco? Yeah, he's killing it.
Pacheco. I think, honestly, he might have put Edwards-Helaire out of a job.
Yeah. I mean, nobody,
Which
I
is
feel like,
weird to
was
say,
the biggest
but-
fan of Edwards-Helaire to begin with. But at the same time, I feel like he kind of got screwed because...
I also want to say, Edwards-Helaire, wasn't he the guy that draft day Mahomes texted the GM saying that was the guy he wanted?
That, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that.
I know he's from LSU, and they picked him like 32nd overall or something like that.
What is it?
It might have been. Are you looking it up, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes explains why he wanted the Chiefs to draft Edwards-Helaire. Yeah, so it was him. That's what I thought.
I feel like he didn't get a good chance, though. Like, seems like just now, recently, out of the last 3 seasons, they're finally trying to run the ball. Like, I feel like they didn't try to run the ball with him that much. I don't know. But
Not until pretty much this season, but yeah.
We'll see what happens.
I don't know. He just seems like a good running back, though.
Yeah, he's not bad at all.
But yeah, not much really to say about this game.
All right.
Chiefs pretty much.
Next we got...
I think was it this week that Kelsey went to 3rd or 4th on tight end receiving yards? I don't know if it was this game.
I think he passed it this game.
He passed
Shannon
what's
Sharp.
his name? Yeah, that's the guy. But yeah, shout out to him. He's a fucking goat.
Yeah. I don't think he'll ever... I don't know if he'll reach Tony Gonzalez because he's got to play like 3-4 more years, but he's definitely got a chance to.
Fuck, if Mahomes is still there, you never know.
True, it might be
He
like
was force feeding him, man.
Yeah, he really does. Moving on, we got the Giants at the Vikings, man. This was a good game. The Vikings, again, squeak out another crazy late game win.
61-yard field goal for the dub.
Greg Joseph. What a
Former
guy.
Dolphin. Should have kept him over fucking Jason Sanders.
Isn't it so funny how kickers in the NFL, when they get drafted or picked up by the team first, they're kind of like mediocre, decent, and then when they go to their next few teams, then they're actually good and don't play bad at all.
Bounced around the league.
He has, yeah.
2 teams, I want to say, maybe. I know he was on the Dolphins.
He's been on a few teams, I believe.
Let's see, career real quick. He's been on the Browns, the Titans, the Vikings. So yeah, so he's been on 3 teams, but I know he was on our team in like the offseason, I want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out that guy. It's nice to see him.
I mean,
It looks like he's got a job and he's sticking with it now.
yeah.
Because kicking's fucking just awful.
Yeah.
One minute you're the best guy, the next minute you're terrible. Like
yeah, and people are so quick to be out on you when it comes to kicking. Like you miss a couple bad
Janine
kicks
just
and
texted
you're
me
the
and
worst.
said a 61-yard field goal in a closed stadium is not that impressive.
No, I mean it's not. In my opinion, it's not so much the 61-yarder that's impressive. It's how they got there and the fact that they even got there.
Call me a hater.
No, I mean, she's not wrong. I mean, it's a closed fucking stadium. There's hardly any wind. Like,
I mean,
none
at the end of the
wind,
day,
but-
I get what she's saying. Like, a kicker should make kicks, but like anything over 60 yards, in my opinion, is not given.
Yeah, And, I mean, honestly, anything over 50 is not given the way these kickers miss kicks sometimes. Like, I definitely see both sides.
The only person I see kicking, like, 50 plus, and I'm like, okay, he's going to make it, is Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, this season, he's kind of missed some of those ones.
Yeah, he has. I mean, Justin Jefferson does it again, Nick. 12 catches, 16 targets, 133 yards, and a touchdown. The dude's been on fire.
I mean, not only that, Hawkinson was fucking on fire. 209 yards, 2 TDs. Like, Jesus Christ.
I saw a video, and they're saying it almost looks like, and I don't know if this is just happening by design, if it's happening on accident. It seems like that the Vikings are not forcing Adam Thielen out of there, but it seems like Hawkinson's eating up a lot more red zone targets that Adam Thielen used to get.
If I don't say this before I forget, Richie James deserves to be cut. Dog shit wide receiver.
What did he do?
Yeah, like fucking, I don't know. Babe, how many drops did he have? Like 2?
He did have a lot of drops.
He had like 2, 3 major drops. I don't remember what it was, but it was fucking awful.
No, I mean,
Christ.
The Giants had multiple chances to win this game, and like you said, kind of got screwed by some drops. It was a good game overall, though. Like, being like just a fan of football.
Down on the wire, man. Literally, like, I thought this shit was gonna go to overtime. I bet on this. I already told you guys. I bet on this. Literally needed 1 more yard out of Delvin Cook. I was hoping. I was like, oh, a 61 yarder. He misses it. OT. Like, probably then I'll get my 1 yard and I'll be done. But
Nick, it should have went to overtime. Man. You saw the end of the game. There's 8 seconds left. Justin Jefferson catches a screen pass and runs it for fucking 11 yards. Like, that literally almost, it put him in field goal range. Like, it gave him an opportunity. I definitely thought it was going to overtime the way it was looking, because they kind of weren't moving the ball. And then, like I said, that screen pass to Jefferson just kind of gave him that opportunity to hit that kick, and Joseph fucking nailed it. But yeah, I mean, a good game. I was telling my dad this. Even though the Giants lost, I think with their record, I still think that they're probably getting a playoff spot no matter what. I think so. Yeah, I mean, if they lose out, it might get a little weird. But I think they'll probably win 1 more game, and that'll like solidify them as a wild card team. I think they're chilling in that aspect, which is crazy because, again, one of those teams that over exceeding expectations. Anything they do at this point is just the cherry on top. You know what I mean? Like, good to see Brian Daboll's got this team rolling. Next we got the Bengals at the Patriots.
I just want to say shout out to the defense for the Giants too. Like, that Kayvon Thibodeau, he's looking nice.
Oh, dude, I mean, in my opinion, it should have been Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson drafted 1 and 2 in whatever order or whatever, and the Jags, I feel like, screwed the pooch on that one. I think Trayvon Walker's probably a pretty good athlete. It just seemed a little raw and hasn't showed a lot of potential yet. We'll see what happens.
I think they overthought it, maybe.
I think so.
But we shall see.
Yeah.
Bengals at the Patriots. Fucking hell, this game gave me anxiety. They went up, I think it was 22-0. I don't think they put up any more points.
It was 22-0.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah.
22-0, and they put, like, the Patriots defense. I tell you this shit all the time, Craig. Bill knows how to play defense. He makes his halftime adjustments. They didn't even fucking put up any points, Craig. None.
They didn't do shit.
Donut. Take those 2 zeros that they put in the fucking third and fourth corner, almost make a snowman.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, the fact that they almost made the comeback is literally just insanity.
I just want to point this out.
I could not believe it.
The whole time this game was going on, me and Nick were texting each other, and they got the pick 6, the Patriots did, and I was like, Nick, it don't matter, this game's over anyways. And he was like, yeah, but they're letting them sneak around. And then in the fourth quarter, when they're like driving to score to tie it or whatever, I'm like, Nick, you were right. They fucking kept them in it. This game's not over.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you just leave teams the door open, like this, that, crack, and they fucking SWAT, FBI, kick it in. Like, we've seen it how many times in the last few weeks? Like, the Ravens, Dolphins, they came back. The Vikings came back. Like, just been so many crazy comebacks this season.
Like, it's been nuts. Yeah, so I mean,
and like, you almost saw another one right here, like 22-0.
Yeah, absolutely
Like,
crazy.
that is insane.
To be able to shut down the Bengals to 0 points
In 2 quarters?
in 2 quarters is crazy because they have some weapons, dude. Which is crazy too because the Bucks did it the week before. They pretty much shut them out in the first half, and then the Bengals turned it on in the second half. Yeah, I mean,
Man, it's just like, wow.
it's nuts. It was a wild game.
My anxiety was through the roof watching this game. Like, I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Thank God they fumbled it.
Yeah.
Rashad Stevens, thank God.
Somebody tweeted and they said Ramondre Stevenson single-handedly sold the Patriots season this year. Because they're talking about the Raiders game where he pitched the ball backwards instead of just going down. And then in this game, he fumbles the ball when they're driving and they literally lose the game because of it. Like, yeah, I thought that tweet was funny.
It was a weird thing. Like, he was forward progress was stopped, and then they punched the ball. Like, whatever. Yeah. I'll take it how it comes, but
it is what it is.
It's just that was a missed call in my opinion.
Next we got the Texans at the Titans. I mean, Derrick Henry ran good, 100 yards, a touchdown, I think. The Titans are just lacking so many weapons, man. Like, it's either Derrick Henry or bust. You know what I mean? Malik Willis is not that guy. At least as of right now, we're not seeing anything that we possibly think he's that guy.
Mike Vrabel's got his hands full, man. You got to find a way to figure out your offense.
Yeah.
I think their defense is not too bad. Probably add a few pieces, but you need a quarterback bad on the Titans.
Yep.
If I was the Titans, you might be looking at either the draft, potentially what they have, trading up maybe, but also too, I think they gotta look at the 49ers room and say, hey, you want to get rid of any quarterback?
Give us one of them.
We need one.
Yeah.
We need somebody.
And I mean, your run like game is always good.
They need a wide receiver, man.
So bad.
It makes no sense, and that's why the GM got fired. That
they traded AJ Brown
trading away.
Why?
Yeah, like why would you trade him away, man?
Yeah.
You need somebody.
Just because he wanted money, pay the guy.
Derrick Henry. Like it can't be just Derrick Henry.
They can't.
You need the quarterback, and you need some weapons to spread the ball around. Open up those play actions because they used to be so good with it when they had the wide receivers there, like Corey Davis, AJ Brown, like.
Yeah.
They were able to play action and hit those deep throws, and then also open up the run game for Derrick Henry. But it's like now it's Henry or bust, and it's like that's not how you're gonna win.
Nope.
Just like how Justin Fields, like it's not how you're gonna win if you run the ball in the second half. Like you gotta stop, you gotta make some throws, buddy.
Yep. 100%.
You're down 2 scores.
I think it's tough because I'd like to say I think they maybe win this game with Tannehill, just because he is an upgrade from Malik. But even then, with Tannehill in there, like, we've seen the same thing all year. He's been average, no weapons. Treylon Burks has been in and out of the lineup with injuries. That was your quote-unquote replacement for A.J. Brown, which he's had his moments. I think he could be a good wide receiver. He just hasn't been healthy this year. This was his first game back, and I think he had 1 catch for, like, 20 yards or something. Like, so just not getting him involved. Texans shut it down. I mean, they played well. Davis Mills had a couple nice throws. He still fucking sucks, and he looks like a giraffe. But, he had a couple nice throws. Yeah, I mean, definitely agree with everything you said. Like, they just got to add some pieces, reevaluate the quarterback position. I feel bad for Vrabel because he is a very, very good coach, in my opinion. And he's got they got a lot of work to do. Moving on, we got the Commanders at the 49ers. This was close for a bit, Nick. 49ers just...
Yeah, it wasn't a bad game. Heineke got pulled up to this game.
He did, and then Wentz went in. But it was almost like when they made the switch, it kind of... Yeah, it made no sense to me. Like, the 49ers were already up like 2 scores at that point. Heineke had already fumbled the ball once, and I think threw a pick. Like, he should have been... I feel like the change should have came around like halftime, but you made the switch in like the 4th quarter, I think it was, late 3rd quarter, and it just too little too late at that point. Like, Wentz couldn't even get in and get a rhythm, and it was just, it was too late. 49ers, with all these weapons they got, is looking dangerous.
I mean, hell, they got a 7th round pick.
Leading the team.
Irrelevant, looking nice, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not much more to say. It's like they're going to be a deadly team in the playoffs.
Oh, 100%. They always play well in the playoffs too, I feel like. I'm
not sure if anyone's going to come back at quarterback for them, if Jimmy G's coming back or Trey Lance is.
I don't think Lance is. I think there was a possibility of Jimmy G coming back.
Well, it would definitely be interesting to see. Like, do you keep Jimmy G? Do you go to Jimmy G? It almost kind of reminds me of what my dad always tells me about the Buffalo Bills. I don't know who their quarterback was, but at the time, it was what's his name? Doug Flutie. You know who Doug Flutie is?
Yeah.
He was the quarterback. My dad said that he took over in one of the seasons going to the Super Bowl. He took over for the injured quarterback. Don't know who it was. But basically the story is that Doug Flutie led them to the playoffs. But then they benched, the owner came in and said, you got to play the other guy because I'm paying him like $10 million. Why am I paying him, right?
Yeah.
So they went back to the other guy that was injured. He fucking shits the bed in the playoffs. They lose. And like everyone basically said, like, if Doug Flutie played that game, they probably would have won, right?
Yeah.
And that to me is like, is this the same scenario? Like, do you go back to Jimmy G or do you go back to what's been working? Brock Purdy, right?
Here's my thought on this. Two things. And they kind of contradict each other, right? I think first off, I think you probably got to ride with the hot hand, right? You would think. The dude's winning. He's playing well. You go that route. But at the other time, I think you're fine either way because this is such a quarterback-friendly system. Not to take anything away from Jimmy G or Brock Purdy. They're playing great. They're not making mistakes. That's the biggest thing when it comes to quarterback. Don't make mistakes. But on the other hand...
I'll argue for you on that comment is the fact that I also think it's a quarterback-friendly system, but I think, too, is the lack of reps. Like, if Jimmy G hasn't really done anything in practice, like, are you going to put him in cold? You know what I mean?
And that's
There's a difference
another
between
thought.
being, like, in a friendly system and being just, like, completely cold. Like, I can't imagine going into a game without having, like, a warm-up type game before that.
Yeah.
Like, if he doesn't play last week of the season, it's like, there's no point in putting you in there. You know what I mean?
And that's what, like, I'm not trying to skip ahead because we're still talking about this, but that's what I worry about in the Eagles situation when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Like, if he plays this week and they win, and then he takes 3-4 weeks off, like, that's weird. Or it's not weird, and you can't really do anything about it, but they're going to have a first-round bye. They're going to, if they win this week, which I assume they probably will, they'll have a first-round bye, and then he won't play week 18. So it's like you're going to have 4 weeks off, like 3 weeks off. And it's just same thing with Jimmy G. Like, you definitely want to try to get some reps in a game before you step into a playoff environment. But I do think being a quarterback-friendly system, it'll help him. But I still feel like you got to ride the hot hand with Brock Purdy. I feel like if you go into playoffs with Brock Purdy, he keeps you on that win streak you're on. I mean, he's won fucking essentially 4 games at this point, I think. Like, keep rolling with the guy. I mean, it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, 100% agree. That's what I was curious about, like, what you thought. Yeah. I'd probably go with Brock Purdy, too.
But with moving on, like, looking, like, past that, your off-season's about to get even more weird. Do you think you got a tough decision deciding between Purdy and Garoppolo for playoffs? You got an even tougher decision deciding between Purdy, Lance, or Garoppolo next season. Like, we've talked about it before. We think they probably stick with Lance just because of the capital they gave up, but you never know. Moving on to the Eagles at the Cowboys. Ugly game for the Eagles. I mean, what they have, 4 turnovers? You're not going to win. You turn the ball over 4 times. It was the same thing when they lost to the Commanders. Just a couple turnovers in bad spots. Like, with that being said, I think the Cowboys should have fucking put more points on the board with that many turnovers. So in my eyes, that would worry me if I'm a Cowboys fan. But the Cowboys still got the dub. They won the game. Dak Prescott had his moments in this game where he looked pretty good. But then he also had his moments where he threw a pick. I mean, he literally started the game out with a pick 6. Granted, that was kind of a...
Aside from that pick, though, he pretty much locked in that game.
No, he did lock in that game. He played well.
CeeDee Lamb was fucking all over the field, getting open. Like,
yeah.
Cowboys played this game like how they usually do. They play good game, like good teams good, and they play bad teams bad. Like, it makes no sense.
No, 100%.
I think they're so inconsistent.
And not to take anything away from the Cowboys, and I know I've been the biggest hater of the Cowboys, and I always will be. It's just what it is when you're a Texans fan. But I don't want to take anything away from them because they played great.
I'll be right back. 1 sec.
Okay. I don't want to take anything away from the Cowboys because they played great. Like, I don't want to do that. But I think the Eagles lost this game with all these turnovers. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just the Eagles cost this game them damn selves. And you can make the argument that, well, the Cowboys turned the ball over. They did their job on defense. It wasn't so much Eagles' mistakes, but you can't turn the ball over. You know what I mean? That's what it is at the end of the day, in my opinion. But well done by the Cowboys. It'll be interesting to see. I feel like we could potentially see Eagles-Cowboys rematch in the playoffs. And hopefully by that point you have the starting quarterbacks for both teams, because the first time the Eagles played, they had Cooper Rush, and then this time the Eagles played, the Eagles had Gardner Minshew. So I'd like to see these two teams play when they both have their starting quarterbacks, because I think it'll be a really good matchup. Next we got, I don't want to get moving too much because I don't know when Nick will be back, but next we got the Raiders, the Steelers. I don't even remember this game because I didn't watch this game. I had to go to my sister's house for Christmas. Let's see. Let me pull up the stats real quick of this game so I can talk about that a little bit.
Alright, I'm back.
Are you? Okay. I pretty much wrapped up the Cowboys Eagles. I was moving on to the Raiders and the Steelers, but I didn't get to watch this game because I was at my sister's with Christmas. So I genuinely don't even remember or know what happened. So I was trying to pull up like the stats for the game.
Josh Jacobs didn't really do a whole lot this game. It was kind of a slow game for both teams, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Jacobs only had 44 yards rushing.
Yeah. I mean, Derek Carr had 3 interceptions.
Yeah, that's not good. Devontae Adams got shut down. 2 catches, 15 yards. Yikes. I bet that costs a lot of people their fantasy matchup.
Yeah. The big thing is this game was, I believe it was a 4-point game, I want to say. 4-point game, something like that, at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Final drive of the game. The Steelers got the ball. This is literally like NFL script at its, like at perfection here. Yeah, finest, that's the word. Literally, the Franco Harris retirement night, everything lighting up, like, they get the ball with like, I think it was like 2 minutes, no timeout, something like that. And they go down the field, they get the touchdown, take the lead.
Oh no.
And that's basically all she wrote. Like, it's just like, there's no other way that it could go out. Like,
and I don't think there's any other way you can describe the Raiders season at that point. I mean,
game-winning drive to lose, like, or game-losing drive, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, just what a way to represent Franco Harris.
I mean, 2 things. Yeah, I mean, definitely a great way to represent Franco Harris. 2 things on the Steelers. They kept their playoff hopes alive with that win. And they kept the no losing season alive for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm more invested in that than them making the playoffs. Like, I just want Mike Tomlin to somehow squeak out another.
That's the thing that was crazy to me, is like, he literally might be able to pull off both.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, and if he does, and if you look back to how they squeaked into the playoffs last year and how they could potentially maybe squeak in this year, like, I don't think enough credit is given to Mike Tomlin and what he does with this team, because it's absolutely crazy. He had to deal with Big Ben falling off at a crazy rate last year, not playing very well, and now he has to deal with all these offensive struggles this year, not having a quarterback necessarily, not knowing who to go with, and you're still somehow sitting at 7-8 and you're talking about potential playoff spots. Like, it's crazy. The dude's an animal. I've always been a fan. Next we got these games are yeah, that is this game. We got Packers at the Dolphins. Nick, it started out so good. It looked like the Dolphins were about to dominate these dudes, right? And then second half, just turmoil.
Exploded.
Yeah. What did he throw? 3 picks in the second half?
Right to start, right before going into the half, we had a Raheem Mostert fumble on a potential point, like last minute points before the end of the half. I think they ended up maybe getting a field goal out of that.
I think they did.
Just to cut the lead right down. So, yeah, that fucking sucked. Then the Packers get the ball, I think, to start.
Yeah, they did.
The third, I think it was, too.
Yeah,
so I'm like, there's just no way, like, we were going out like that. Then, like I said, or like you said with the Tua thing, like 3 interceptions in one half, just, like, exploded on himself. Like, I have no idea what the fuck happened. Turns out he's now in concussion protocol, so maybe that makes sense. Why he was making these dumb errant throws.
It's got to be the only explanation, Nick, because throws that he was making.
To me, like I told Janine, I don't know if I told you this, but like when I was watching the Dolphins earlier, like all the analysts, all the commentators kept appraising Tua, like he's going through his reads, he's so quick with it, boom, balls out.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's also like these predetermined throws, like boom, balls out. Second half, like obviously teams are gonna adjust to these predetermined throws, but like he's just throwing the ball like to nowhere, and I'm like, why? Like if the guy's not open, like then don't throw it. I'm okay with you throwing the quick ball when it's wide open, like whatever, like it makes sense. But like there was the one interception he threw to Tyreek Hill, like it was a high ball. If he throws it to Tyreek, it's probably a hard catch because there's like 4 Packers around them.
But again, it's still probably catchable.
Yeah, like I'm not a big hater on that throw so much, but the other 2 are literally just right to players for no reason. Like one he threw right to the linebacker, and I'm like, that one to me was like mind blowing. What happened there? And then the other one, like the dude just bit him, like basically baited him into the throw, but like at the same time he instantly knew he was going to throw it to Mike Gesicki.
And he literally stared him down.
That's what I'm saying. Like where did the reading go? Like what happened? At one point in the season, he was an MVP. Like I told you guys, Janine and you, like he was at one point an MVP player, like less than a month ago, which essentially in the NFL is 4 games.
Yeah. And
4 games later, he is now basically playing for his fucking life. Like it makes no sense. Like what the fuck has happened to the Dolphins? What has happened to Tua? Like people keep saying like the scheme's been like figured out, but to me it's like, looking back at the 49er games, there was guys wide open. Tua just missed throws. That did not happen in there. The Chargers game, they completely shut down everyone. They were also holding a couple times. It is what it is, whatever. That game right there, you can say that's a wash, whatever. The Bills game, they played really, like, pretty good, pretty fine to win. You just lost. It is what it is. It happens. And in this game, like, again, you're playing so good, and then the second half, like, your quarterback exploded. So I don't think it's Mike McDaniel, like, play calling, like,
I don't think
is
so
exposed
either.
or anything like that. Like that's why I'm so confused. Like what people think. Like this game is literally all on 2. Like there's no other way to put it. Like 3 interceptions in one half is literally like you're never gonna win.
And like if you were to watch this game and look at watch the second half particularly, watch the whole game, right? You watch the first half and what he's doing and the reads he's making, you're like, holy shit. And then you watch the second half.
And then you watch this one and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
You genuinely think in your brain, you're like, did this guy lose his brain? Like, what happened? So, like, looking back, coming out, and they're saying now he's potentially suffered another concussion, it makes you think, like, and I don't want to be one to make excuses, right? But just, like, the such errant throws and bad decisions he made in that second half, I feel like the only explanation has to be a concussion, right? He had to have been just not fully there in his brain.
Double something. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. The throws he was making were so bad.
And it was so weird, man. Like, it was just so bad. Like, I don't know. I saw this graphic, and I already know this graphic. Like, so the graphic it says, Dolphins have been streaking all season long. It says week 1 through 3, 3-0. Week 4 through 6, 0-3. But that week 4 through 6, they also lost Tua, right? Week 7 through 12, 5-0. Had Tua the whole time. Week 13 through 6, 0-4. So it's like, yes, they've been streaky, but the week 4 through 6, I feel like don't count. You had Teddy B and Skylar fucking Thompson.
We didn't have Teddy B. You got to remember, too, he had a concussion.
Yeah, he had a concussion, too. Yeah,
so
you had Skylar for like 1.5, 2 games, whatever it was. And then, yeah, the last 4 weeks have been abysmal in certain ways, and it definitely, I don't know, man. It's just weird. Like, you have to, I genuinely think he had to have had a serious head injury this week because those throws were just so errant and so just bad. Like, it was ugly. I don't know. They had a chance to win it a couple times, but just
they still had a chance at the end of the game, and they threw the interception.
I really thought even after the bad half he had, Nick, I was like, all right, bet. He gets the ball, 2 minutes left, he needs a touchdown, they're about to go down and score, and then it's over with, and everybody shuts the fuck up. Nobody cares. But
it didn't happen.
It literally, like, first, second play, he throws another pick, and I'm like, I genuinely was walking around the house, and I was like, Tua just threw another pick. Like, there is no way. Like, it just... It's crazy. So hopefully he's better. We'll see.
I think what I told you is still my thought process, that if he doesn't perform in these next 2 games, even if he plays at this point now, I think it's pretty much done for him.
I feel like with his history this season with injuries and concussions, I feel like he probably doesn't play this upcoming week. And
that's my thought process. And
then he maybe gets back for week 18.
The season's over anyway, so
yeah,
I think it's gonna be a shitty decision, but I think Tua is gone, man. The health wise concerns, the play on the field is so inconsistent. It's 1 week at MVP, next week he's fucking below average, next week he's good, the next week he's average. Like, I don't know, the way he's been playing. With the fact that Lamar Jackson might be available, I think the Dolphins got to start looking around and seeing what their other options are, because I can't imagine wasting Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle on inconsistent play. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
Like, hopefully Tua figures it out in these next 2 weeks if he plays, but not looking very good for this week, that's for sure.
And I know Tyreek's still having a great season, but the way he started off was about to be like a record-breaking season like Jefferson's having, and then it just kind of... He still had good games, but I think with this inconsistent quarterback play, it's kind of hurt him in that aspect. So like you said, you definitely don't want to waste these 2 absolute, like, weapons you have on the team on inconsistent play. It's not what you want to do.
100%, man. It's disappointing, but it is what it is.
It's got to suck, though, like, and I know it hits home for you, being a Dolphins fan, but like genuinely anybody out there being a Dolphins fan, like this is I know y'all have had some tough seasons before, but this in my opinion has to probably be one of the worst, just because of how much hope y'all had leading into it, and then you start off the season so well, and then you deal with the injuries with Tua, and then he comes back and y'all are doing great again, and you're like, holy shit, like this is crazy, we're about to like be one of the best teams in the league, and then it just has gone so downhill these past few weeks. It just, I know it sucks. Moving on, we got the Broncos at the Rams. Russell Wilson threw like 19 picks. The Rams just fucking dominated. Baker Mayfield went dummy.
This game.
Yeah, I mean,
they literally just put up 51 points. Like, it is what it is. You literally got outplayed in every aspect of the game.
100%. Next, we got the Buccaneers at the Cardinals, man. I mean, Tom Brady down 13 points again, somehow squeaked out, or 10 points, whatever it was, somehow squeaked out another late touchdown, go down, kick a field goal, win the game. Like, it's fucking crazy at this point, dude. It literally seems like they're writing the script for him to squeak into the playoffs.
Yep.
Because there's no way they should have won that game. They looked so bad, and then all of a sudden they go down and score a touchdown, and then get the ball back, and then go down and score again. Like, it's terrible. It's horrendous. Moving on, we got Monday night, Chargers at the Colts tonight. I'm praying on Zach Moss's downfall. I'm 20 points away from hitting the fantasy championship in my big league that I won last year. Trying to go back. So, we both picked the Chargers on this game. I think they win for sure. We'll see what happens, though.
Colts are gonna get outplayed here, but
Yeah.
you never know, man. Chargers sometimes play like shit. The Colts sometimes play good. Like, who knows?
Yeah. I think if let me pull this back up real quick. I want to say if the Chargers win, they're in the playoffs.
Gotta be close.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out. So we'll go ahead and run through week 17 predictions. Kind of had a long episode this week, but it's all good. We had a lot to talk about. You ready for predictions, Nick?
Yep.
Alrighty, so we got Cowboys Titans Thursday night. Give me the Cowboys. Payne.
Alright, actually I wasn't ready. I accidentally exited out. I didn't realize.
Oh, this guy.
But yeah, so both Cowboys. Alright. Locking it in.
Alright. Next we got Cardinals at the Falcons. Oh my god, ugly. Give me the Cardinals.
This is Trace McSorley, right? Probably.
Yeah. Unless Colt McCoy comes back.
Give me Riddler first up.
Alright.
Give me the rookie. Let's see it.
Next we got
Rookie versus rookie, actually, isn't it?
Nah, Trace McSorley's not a rookie.
Well, he's technically a rookie. It's like his rookie season, isn't it?
Nah, I think he's been in the league.
Has he actually started before?
No, last night was his first start, but he's been in the league.
Yeah,
for
so there
a
you
bit.
go. That's what I'm saying. It's basically his rookie season starting.
So you got
Bears,
Falcons.
Lions.
Bears, Lions. Give me the Lions.
Man, the way the Lions run defense was, does
God
Justin
damn.
Fields have a fucking day?
It's very possible.
Give me the Bears.
The Bears. All right.
This is easy. I'll save you the time. Jaguars all the way across the board.
Jaguars, yes sir. Chiefs on the next one.
Chiefs
Yep.
all the way across the board.
Yep.
I'm going Patriots. Not doing it.
I'm going Dolphins.
You go ahead. You ride that fucking train.
Yep.
You ride that fucking boat right into the fucking water.
Yep. I'll be there.
See ya.
Can't swim very well, but I'll be there.
I'm going Giants.
Yeah, I'm going Giants. I think this is like we talked about earlier. This is the one game that they win, and then it puts them in the playoffs. I feel like, yeah, Giants for sure. Next we got
Eagles.
Saints Eagles. I'm going Eagles. I think even with Gardner Minshew, they beat the Saints.
I think so too. Their team is way too good.
Yeah.
So many Pro Bowlers.
Give
Give me the Bucks. Tom Brady back to back, fucking does it.
Give me the Panthers.
He's gonna do it.
Panthers
He's
about to
gonna
beat
do
the
it.
Bucks again and
He's gonna
get
do it.
first in the South.
He's gonna do it.
Nope.
He's gonna do it.
Nope.
You can't stop greatness, Craig.
I mean, it's scripted for them. They're trying to put them in the playoffs again.
Browns at Commanders. Ah, man, it's actually a hard one.
Give me the Browns. I don't like the Commanders, and I don't like Carson
I don't
Wentz.
I don't like this game. I don't like any of
either.
these teams.
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm gonna go Browns. I think Nick Chubb's got to get back on track.
I think so too. 49ers Raiders. Give me the Niners.
Yeah. This will be the total Raiders game. We're going with 49ers all across the board, but this will be the total Raiders game. They come out and just smoke the 49ers.
Just smoke the 49ers, dude. I swear to God if that happens. Jets Seahawks.
Give me Seahawks.
Give me the Seahawks.
I think Geno has a bounce back game.
And I don't trust Mike White or any quarterback.
I don't trust any of the quarterbacks for the Jets.
Yeah. Vikings Packers. Give me the Vikings to close the motherfucking door on the Packers making the playoffs. I am so tired of hearing about this. Oh, the Packers are gonna squeak in. They're gonna make it in. Everything's going right. Everybody lost and they won. They're getting there. Like, I do not want to see the Packers in the playoffs this year. Give me the Vikings.
Vikings.
Rams Chargers. Give me the Chargers.
Yup.
Steelers Ravens. Yikes. I don't think Lamar's going to
Give
play
me the
this week.
Steelers. Give me the Steelers.
I'll go Ravens.
They're feeling it after.
Dude,
After
could you
that
imagine,
big
Nate? They win this week. They're 8-8. Mike Tomlin's record comes down to them winning the last week, and I almost want to say they play the Bengals the last week.
Yeah, I mean,
Which they beat first week of the year. I'll take the Ravens, though.
alright.
Oh, Nick.
Bills, Bengals.
Monday night, Bills, Bengals. This should be a fucking game and a half. I'm taking Bengals, yes.
Bengals.
That's going to be a good game, hopefully. Who do the Steelers play week 18? Is it the Bengals, or is it like the Browns?
Those
Oh,
picks
they play
are
the
all
Browns.
locked in.
Gotcha. All right, so we got... we did the predictions real quick. I just want to look at like who's eliminated from the playoffs. Where's the playoff picture? There we go. All right, so right now we got Bills, Chiefs, Bengals, Ravens for the first 5 seeds. And then the Jags, Chargers, Dolphins. So the Dolphins are still in there. It looks like if... I genuinely think if the...
They just need the Patriots.
They need to
Jets,
beat the
and Titans.
Patriots and then the Jets to lose. And then the
They
Titans
play
to
the
lose.
Jets too, anyway. So they played their last 2 games against the Patriots and the Jets. So
Yeah, true. So if they
they
can
have
beat...
to find a way. They have to find a way to
Yeah.
win these 2 games
Yeah, 100%.
somehow.
Yeah. So eliminated we have the Texans, the Bears, the Cardinals, Broncos, Colts, Falcons, Rams, and Browns. So we have 8 teams eliminated now. I think last week it was 4. So that's the AFC playoff picture. NFC we have Eagles, Vikings, Niners, Cowboys, Bucks, Giants, Washington. So you have the Packers, Lions, Seahawks all sitting at 7 and 8. That I think it's either. I don't think the Commanders are gonna make it. I think it's gonna be the Seahawks, Lions, or Packers, to be honest. And I think if it boils down to which one of these teams wins this week, I feel like the Commanders lose, right, against the Niners. Or no, that's who they just played. They play. Who do they play?
They play the Browns.
Okay, so, wow, they could win that game. If they lose this week, Seahawks if they beat the Jets, Lions if they beat the Bears, Packers if they beat the Vikings. I feel like if any of these teams lose, they're out, right? You would think.
Yeah.
Again, like we said before, I think the Giants make it no matter what. I think it really, in the NFC, all it comes down to who wins the NFC South, and then who is in this 7th spot. I think everything else is set. The seedings might switch up a bit, but everything's set there. And then I feel like it's it could be anybody's game between the Chargers and the Dolphins. I mean, if the Chargers somehow come out and lose, dude, like sitting at 8 and 7, yeah, it's literally anybody's game in the AFC. So there's two spots open there. We'll see what happens. All right. So that's gonna be
Piggybacking off the playoff run. Let me do this for you now.
Lay it on me.
What?
Lay it on me.
I just felt bad for looking at all those teams eliminated, so they have nothing to look forward to, Craig, for the coaches, right?
Uh-oh.
That's all. That's it.
Yep.
So, with that said, those teams are not looking for February. They're looking to April. That's the
April.
draft. So, number 1, we have Houston. Who would have expected?
Probably quarterback.
Number 2, Chicago. Number 3, Denver. Just kidding, it's Seattle's pick.
That's nuts, dude.
Number 4, Arizona. Number 5, Indianapolis. Number 6, Atlanta. Number 7, the Rams. Just kidding, that's the Lions pick again.
Wow.
Number 8, Carolina. Number 9, Las Vegas. Number 10, New Orleans. That is now the Eagles pick.
Crazy.
And then back into the 11th pick here is Cleveland, but it's going to Houston again. And then we have Seattle at number 12, 13, Tennessee, 14, New England, 15, Jets, 16, Pittsburgh, jeez, I can't read, 17, Green Bay, 18 is Detroit, 19, Jacksonville. These are the playoff teams, obviously. So
Yeah.
19 is Jacksonville, 20, Tampa Bay, 21, Washington, 22 is Miami, just kidding, it's forfeited. 23 Giants, 24 Chargers, and then 25 is Baltimore, 26 is San Fran, but that goes to Denver. So Denver still does have a first-round pick, by the way.
Wow.
But it's all the way up into 26. Yeah. 27 is Dallas, 28 Cincinnati, 29 Kansas City, 30 Minnesota, 31 Buffalo, 32 Philadelphia.
So that's actually crazy, Nick. There's so many first-round picks this year that belong to somebody else. Like 7.
Inside the top 10, there is 4 picks at a 3 picks at a time.
That is nuts.
And then right on the borderline of 10 is Cleveland on 11, which would make it 4. Which, again, like you said, is nuts. And right now, the way it's looking, if the Raiders win a game and the Browns lose their game, it would be a top 10 pick. So that would be 4 in the top 10. So almost half of the picks have been traded out.
Jesus.
Which, again, like you said, is crazy to think about.
That is nuts.
And
yes.
something you don't see very often, a pick forfeited.
That's even crazier
boy
too. Oh shit. So with that being said, I think that's gonna wrap up. It's gonna wrap up episode 20. I mean, we hit everything. It was a little longer episode this week, but like we said before, we had a couple of special things we wanted to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I do want to talk about one thing real quick. Nick, what are the odds that we think Justin Jefferson hits 2,000 yards this season? He needs 244 yards for 2,000.
244?
Yeah.
And he's still got 2 weeks left?
But do they play him in week 18? Because they're already in the playoffs, already won the division.
He needs 122. There's no way he doesn't get it.
I feel like if he comes out, if he comes out and has like an 80-yard game this week, and then he's 160 off, I feel like they maybe sit him week 18. But I feel like if he comes out and has like another 100-yard game, 130, they let him play week 18 and fucking break the record and get to 2,000.
I mean, shit, the way he plays, he might be able to fucking do it in one game.
In 1 week? Dude, if he somehow gets it in one game, and then he hits 2,000 and breaks the record in 16 games, Nick, oh, that would be so nuts, man. Oh, that would be awesome. Just so nobody can say, oh, you did it in an extra game. I don't know. We'll see. Definitely something to look forward to. Yeah, I mean, that's going to wrap up the episode. Episode 20, a banger one. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We're going to keep this shit going. We're never stopping. We're going to be on ESPN one day, Nick. Correct. Love it. But yeah, I mean, you got anything before I shut it down?
Everyone have a good holidays. Let's stay safe.
Yep. Oh, y'all have a Happy New Year? I don't know when New Year is. Happy New Year's. Y'all hang out, enjoy your time off from work if you got it.
Yeah, next episode will be in the New Year, so.
Yep. Love that. Well, we appreciate y'all watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.